Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and I am back from holiday. I've been away the last week, and it's time to jump into the new patch and start seeing what everyone is complaining about. And it seems to me what everyone is currently complaining about is Skellige, which is hilarious because if you remember when they released the patch notes and they were nerfing Queen's Guards and whatnot, people were like, oh, Skellige is dead, rip Skellige. Well, it turns out that is not the case at all. I have been keeping an ear to the ground in terms of what's been going on with the current patch, and today I have my Skellige Axeman deck for you. And this is definitely a variation on Lifecoach's Weather Axeman deck. You can see it's very, very similar to his. I've just kind of changed out some of the gold cards for ones that I personally prefer in this strategy, but like I say, that's a variation on this theme, and this deck is all about damaging your opponent with stuff like Frost, and using that to buff up your Axemen, because the clan Turiseach Axeman Veteran 1, whenever an enemy is damaged, boost self by 1, deploy, gain 2 armor. So whenever you damage an opponent, these guys get boosted by 1. They are vulnerable to stuff like dim Meridian bombs, so just be a little bit aware of that, but the general gist of this is we're going to be killing our opponent with weather whilst buffing up our Axemen. Now, in terms of gold cards, I've gone for Hjalmar. Hjalmar is a 15 strength gold card, and when you play this, it deploys a Lord of Undvik on your opponent's side. So you gain 15 points, they gain 5, which means this is a 10-point card. But if you can destroy the Lord of Undvik, then this guy gets boosted by 10. So it's a very big tempo play, because you'll play out your 15, your 5, and if you can kill the Undvik, then you get 25 points, which is, you know, a big deal. Then on top of that, we have Yennefer the Conjurer. Every turn at the start of your turn, damage all of the highest enemies by 1. So I really like this because she's going to be zapping your opponent, and that's going to be buffing up your Axemen too, which is really nice. Then we have Igni, destroy the highest unit on the opposite row if that row totals 20 or more power. This guy's really good against, you know, this kind of archetype where you've got, you know, heavily buffed units, because you can use the Igni to actually destroy the other Axemen, which I really like. Then we have Morkvarg. Whenever this unit is discarded or destroyed, resurrect it and weaken it by 3. So this guy, when we play him out or we discard him, he'll then get pulled from the graveyard onto the board and get buffed up. And he's just a very useful silver card. Like, he's points that get carried over, which is really nice. And potentially, you know, you can use something like the blood-curdling roar on him, which you destroy him and spawn a bear, but then, you know, he's not really destroyed because he comes back. So that's kind of useful there. We have our 3 Clan and Crate Raiders, which we're going to thin the deck with. These, whenever they're discarded, they get resurrected. And we're running King Bran as our leader. Deploy, discard up to 3 cards from your deck and strengthen all units among them by 1. So we can use this to get Morkvarg and the Clan and Crate Raiders out of our deck and onto the board and get points from them. Then, as we're dealing a lot of damage, we also have the Clan Drum and Shield Maidens. Deploy, damage a unit by 2. If it was already damaged, play a Clan Drum and Shield Maiden from your deck. And again, this is deck thinning, so we're going to use one of these on a damaged target, and then once we've started you know, hitting that damaged target, we can then chain out the rest of our Shield Maidens and get them out of the deck too, so then, you know, we're going to draw better. We have a Donar and Hinder, Veteran 1, toggle a unit's lock, discard a random bronze card from your opponent's deck to your graveyard, so you can steal a bronze card into your graveyard and lock a unit, which is very useful against, you know, stuff like Axeman, for example. We have Gremist, deploy, spawn, Impenetrable Fog, Clear Skies, or Blood-Curdling Roar. And this is typically going to be used for Clear Skies, but it's nice to have the weather option and the Roar option, basically, in order to maybe turn a Priestess of Freya, for example, which has 1 strength, or a Morkvarg into a useful unit. We have 1 Priestess of Freya in here, just as a resurrect, in case we happen to lose all of our Axemen, because we're really using our Axemen as a win condition for 1 round, and then we'll use Hjalmar as basically a win condition for a 2nd round. We have Renew. Renew we can actually use to resurrect Hjalmar and play him as on a 2nd round. So if we happen to have both of these, we can always use Hjalmar on the 2nd round and then renew him onto the 3rd round. Alternatively, you can use this to resurrect, say, something that your opponent has played, or potentially Yennefer or Igni, and replay them. We have Ulderich, which is a 12 strength, you know, disloyal unit. Deploy, draw the top 2 cards from your deck, keep 1 and discard the other. So we can use this to find cards and gain card advantage. Then we have all of our weather, which we're going to be using to deal the damage in order to buff up the Axemen. So we've got 3 biting frosts. We have 1 white frost, which applies frost to actually 2 rows, so the front and middle row, or the middle and back row. And we have Aeromancy, play a bronze or silver weather card from your deck or graveyard, shuffle the others from your deck back. So we can actually use Aeromancy to target play white frost, or play it twice, basically, if it happens to be in our graveyard. So that's really nice. So yeah, that's more or less the gist of this deck. Like I say, this is very similar to Lifecoach's one. I've just changed out some of the golds. This is kind of the one I like to play. But without further ado, we'll jump into a game and I'll showcase this deck in action. And if you find this guide helpful, even if you really dislike Skellige, because everyone hates Skellige at the moment, so even if you don't like Skellige, if you like the content that I make, I would appreciate a thumbs up on the video.
Onward! Attack! Mead! War
Okay, so we're up against Full Test and Northern Realms, and this is actually a ranked game. The thing is, I got to level 10, got placed at rank 7, and then went on holiday, so haven't had a chance to play, so I'm going to feel a little bit guilty taking this deck into ranked. Okay, so what we want to mulligan here is we're going to be mulliganing our Clan Drummond Shield Maidens. We only really want one of these, and if we can find any units that get played by discarding, we're going to get rid of them. We have a couple Frosts, we have Aeromancy, we have Gremist, we have Ulderic Shield Maiden. I think what I'll do for now is mulligan one of the Frost, because I have Aeromancy, into Donar. Donar is nice. And I'm probably just going to leave it at that, I think. And we'll just see how this goes. Now, with this deck, you can either win the first round or the first and third round, or kind of second and third rounds, basically. Like, it doesn't really matter too much whether you go for first round or second round. So potentially what I'm just going to do here is kind of thin out my deck. So we'll play King Bran and just see what he plays and see what we can do in terms of clearing out the deck. So what I'm going to discard here is Morkvarg and my two Clan and Crate Raiders. There'll be one more in here. But basically, by thinning out the deck, what we can achieve is we can get some points on the board. And you can see this is actually a pretty decent tempo play. We've got 20 points on the board because of the buff. And I'm just going to kind of have a look at what my opponent tries to do and whether I want to kind of go in on this round in terms of dealing the damage. And I think what we'll do is we'll put our Axeman out, and then we'll frost the back row. And I think we'll just go for it this strategy. This round. He's going to probably kill my Axeman, unfortunately. We do have a second one, and we have a Resurrect in here, so it's not really the end of the world that he's done that. And we'll pop him out then and see what our opponent chooses to do, because you don't necessarily need loads of Axemen. So she's going to target him. She's going to try and kill him. And she got lucky and killed them both. That's fine. As it is, it means that we're going to give them this round. So what we'll do is we'll throw out our Ulderic, and we will... Oh, I don't really want to keep either of these. This is very unfortunate. We'll keep the Clan Drummond Shield Maiden.
Just standing here.
Ideally, we can mulligan one of these on the next turn, so it's not really the end of the world, because I only want one Clan Drummond Shield Maiden in hand. Unfortunately, what it does mean is that we haven't won a round with our Axemen, and we lost two of them. This person did have the clear for them, because basically you need to clear them early, otherwise they're going to become a problem. Alternatively, what you can do is play the Weather and then play the Axemen, and that way they start to get buffed like nice and early. In terms of our mulligan, we're going to get rid of a Shield Maiden and hopefully find a Axeman here. You can go. That looks like... Oh, it's an Axeman! Alternatively, also, if you wait till the third round, you have a better chance of winning, basically. Prize winning cow is annoying. That's something that we want to just outright kill. We could also lock it. That is an option. So I think what I'm going to do for now is... Yeah, we're just going to lock the cow. We can do that, and we'll also take something out of our opponent's deck. We took a Temerian Infantryman, which is really nice because obviously that was a tempo play. They play one Infantryman and it plays all of them. So by removing one from their deck, this is putting us in a pretty nice position. Wow. Okay. Well, I'll take the round then. This is very interesting. We're going to get a lot of weather on our opponent on the next round. To the point where I probably would feel comfortable mulliganing a Frost just because we have, you know, so much in hand. Well, as it is, we're going to mulligan a Clan Drummond Shield Maiden because we do not need all of those. And you can see them getting buffed each round by their veteran status. First Light's alright. We can use that to rally, or we can use it to clear weather, which is good. So I guess I could just open with Hjalmar. That is definitely an option here. I don't want him to clear my units. Alternatively, actually, what we'll do is we'll play White Frost, and we'll just frost the rows. We'll get the weather out now, because then what we can do is we can play our Axeman, and he'll get buffed up basically. Let's do this too. The problem here is obviously if he clears skies, but we can basically re-weather the entire board if he does choose to clear skies. Okay, and now we can play our Axeman. We'll pop him on the front row because these are going in the middle. I basically don't want to stack one row too much. He's going to get shot, but then they should get buffed by all the frost, which is nice because these guys are going to start getting whittled down. And once this one is damaged, we can then actually use it to chain out our Clan Drummond Shield Maidens here, which is a really nice play.
I killed for less.
And it doesn't look like he's got clear skies, because I feel like he would have played it by now if he did. So let's then play our Hjalmar. And there's our Lord of Undvik. And you can see everyone then got hit, and this guy's gotten buffed right up. And I mean, maybe, you know, he's waiting and he's going to reset him, but that's still, you know, kind of okay here. So now we'll chain out our Clan Drummond Shield Maidens, and we'll kill the Lord of Undvik while we're at it. Like so. And then hit this one too. And you can see we got the units out. We've buffed up our dude again. And we can actually, you know, find even more frost. It looks like, though, he doesn't actually have clear skies, which is kind of frustrating, but not the end of the world. It does mean that we've got a lot of weather in hand that's not very useful. And it also means that Igni probably isn't going to see play in this turn just because we're doing too much damage. Unless I guess he pulls out all his Reaver Hunters. If he pulls out his Reaver Hunters, we can actually burn them. And I think we're just going to go straight for the Igni here while this row is stacked. Although, we could give it one more turn and see if he pulls out a third Reaver Hunter, which he's likely to do, but that means he'll get his trio, and I don't really want him to get his trio. So what we're going to do is just Igni this and stop the trio from happening. That's 14 points out of an Igni, which is pretty nice. And there's the forfeit. And you can see, like, even though we didn't have a very good round 1, because he gave us round 2 so easily, round 3 we basically got to do the Axeman strategy and Hjalmar, and the guy just couldn't keep up. Anyway, let's jump into another game, and I'll showcase this deck in action once more for you guys.
You shall die, worm.
Sit at my table and let's drink.
Okay, so we're up against Eredin in rank now, and this probably means weather and wild hunt, basically. So we're going to keep hold of first lights if we have them. We have our clan and crate raiders, which we do not need in hand, so let's mulligan these. I actually have all of my biting frost, which I probably don't need either, because, you know, we are usually quite consistent with our weather, and a couple should do along with Gremist. So let's get rid of this one too, into a Shield Maiden. Shield Maiden is nice because we can, like I say, chain them out of the deck. And that's pretty happy. Our turn, okay. So we're going to open again with King Bran. It's, like I say, it's a nice little tempo play, really. Once you get your tempo, you know, once you get going, things are usually pretty happy. We'll get rid of... Oop. We'll get rid of this one, and where's Morkfog? Morky, wherever you gone? Here you are. This one.
That's it.
And then out they all come. And there's 20 points. And it's a really big tempo play, so it's kind of good to get going as well, because effectively what we could do here is then just pass, and this will allow our units to get strengthened going into the middle round, which is quite good. You know, he's going to frost us. That's going to put us down to 17, but we're still, you know, quite a few points on him. If he gets 3 more points this round, he basically has to give us card advantage to win. So I actually think on this situation, I'm just going to pass. Basically, if he wants to win the round, he has to play more cards. He's going to have to play 10 points worth of, or 10 points to win the round, basically. And that'll give us card advantage, which is nice. The problem here is, you know, I didn't really want to start clearing his weather and stuff. And I'd rather kind of get the tempo going on the third round when the Axemen get buffed. Because you saw in the first round when we tried to play them, they got removed quite easily. So going into this next round, what I'm thinking is the better strategy is just to, like, take it easy, basically. And there you see he did get enough points. I expected him to, but the thing is, like, I didn't want to leave this frost happening. And the way I saw it, I think I'm happier letting him have this one and having card advantage into the next round. And that way, you know, we've kind of ignored his frost. He's going to pull more frost, and that's going to be irritating, but it's not the end of the world. Priestess of Freya is nice. Renew is also very nice. Okay, so that means that we can actually go for a Hjalmar strategy this turn, which is really cool. In terms of our mulligan, I think we probably get rid of the Priestess because we have nothing really worth resurrecting at this stage in the game. More frost is always good. We can basically frost the entire board. That goes on the front row, that's fine. So I think what I'll do for now is play Hjalmar. There's our Lord of Lundvik. We can then frost the back row, which is nice. And then once the frost is out on the back row, what we can effectively do is start playing our Axeman. And I'm happy playing this Hjalmar double strategy because I have Renew in hand, so we can, you know, go for the same strategy on the final round. And we could actually potentially go for the same strategy with the Shield Maidens on the final round and use that to clear it out. And then just use Frost this round to clear this guy. Now, I've got to expect him to play more Frost. You know, he does have Eredin. He can pull us Wild Hunt Rider, so he can pull another Wild Hunt Hound, for example, and you know, start to cause trouble. But ultimately, I'm not too worried. I'm not worried about his Wild Hunt Riders either because we have Igni in hand. We can start to burn them up. So I think what we're going to do here is play our Frost in the back row. And then we can play our Axeman in the middle row. And kind of let this guy just get killed by Frost, basically. I'm guessing we're going to get more Wild Hunt Riders. This isn't really problematic for me because, like, you know, we're not in Frost at the moment. And we do have the 2 clear skies should we want to, you know, stop the Frost from hitting our units. So it's not really the end of the world. We did sacrifice Morkfog there, but ultimately I think it's fine. And we still have, you know, Donar. We still have Gremist. We're in a pretty nice situation. Oh, look, weather. So we'll just pop our clear skies. And get rid of all that. And, like, I'm feeling quite confident here because, like I say, we have Gremist, so we have a second Clear Skies in hand. I'm not necessarily too worried about this. So he's played a Clear Skies there. We'll just pop out a second Frost. And we'll pop it on the back row again. And that's going to obviously keep buffing our Axeman. And then once the Undvik guy dies, we're in a pretty good spot. Okay. You want to play it this way? We can play it this way. Let me think. I want to chain out my Clan Drum and Shield Maidens, which I won't be able to do at the moment. So let's just frost this. I was going to do that on the final round as a way of killing the whatever it's called, the giant thing, but as it is, I don't know if we need to do that. We'll see. We also have fog, so we can always use fog to try and kill it. There's a Scorch. That's a pretty big Scorch. We'll just play our other Axeman. We don't really gonna use him on the final round, so just popping another one out and getting these buffs is fine. And we're still quite far ahead, you know, we're 30 to 23. And I feel like he's realized this. He is going to be keeping his Wild Hunt Rider at the moment. We can actually use Donar here to unlock our Axeman, so let's do that. Just free him, and we took an Ice Giant, which isn't too bad. Not a bad pull, by any means of the word. Right, what you got?
There is no escape.
He's really going for it this round. This round doesn't quite total 19, I'm very upset. I want to kind of keep my fog for... So I was wanting to keep my fog for, you know, the final round when we resurrect. And I can't quite kill him here. I mean, potentially what we just do now then is pull our Shield Maidens and just thin the deck. This will probably force us pass, to be honest. We'll hit you. And we'll hit you. And there we go. I probably should have hit actually a random target there because he was going to be hit by Frost. So I would have actually been smarter hitting one on the front row.
Let's get this over with.
There's Igni. But even then, like, I don't think that's enough for him. If that makes sense. Like, he got his Igni out, but we're still, you know, how far ahead are we here? Quite a few points. I'm just going to pass. I don't think his last card is going to catch him up with me. You know, we have 16 points on him. If he has 16 points in hand, fine. I'll let him have it. But as it is, we're going into the last round with 3 cards to his 1. And I mean, I always say, you know, don't pass if you're 1 round behind. But if you're 44 points to their 28 and they have 1 card in monsters, then I'm thinking, like, passing is the safest. You know, it's perfectly safe to do that. I'm actually thinking we might mulligan Igni because we're unlikely to see the value out of him. Although saying that, we're going to mulligan the Clan Crate Raider because that is not what we want. What did we get? Ooh, nice. Priestess of Freya. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll start by getting Hjalmar out. We'll pop him out. And obviously the Lord of Undvik goes on the opposite row, so depending on where you put him depends on where he goes. There's Geralt. And then we'll play Grimmist into Fog on the back row, which I think we have enough rounds that we should be able to kill the Lord of Undvik with the Fog. So this is nice. You know, Igni's not going to hit anything. We'll resurrect now a Axeman because, you know, he's going to get buffed up. Although, alternatively, we could resurrect 7. So him, he's going to be 4, 5, 6. Actually, probably resurrecting the Clan and Crate Raider is safer. Alternatively, we just resurrect a Shield Maiden and guarantee that this thing dies. I mean, it's probably going to die anyway, but, you know, we may as well make it nice and safe. And that's game, basically. We don't need to play our final card. And you can understand why people don't like this deck, because it is very consistent. It's very easy to win, you know, 2 rounds. I mean, we actually ended up using the Hjalmar twice, and that's why the Renew and the Hjalmar are really nice. We never saw Yennefer, but she does synergize really well with the Axeman. And you saw there that even though he removed our Axeman, because we had the double Hjalmar, that was fine. If we hadn't had the double Hjalmar, it definitely would have been more challenging. But yeah, that's more or less it in terms of the Skellige deck. Like I said, this is my variant on it, but this was definitely Lifecoach's deck. And it's clearly very successful, as you can see. I'm going to hopefully climb up ranked a bit because I feel bad playing, you know, in rank 7 and just crushing noobs with meta decks. It's kind of a bad thing to do. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the current meta in the comments below. If there's any ranked decks you'd want to see me play, again, let me know in the comments below. It's good to be back. I have missed you guys. I did have a good holiday, though. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at Jaggerous. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jaggerous. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.